they are more advanced for sure. Here you see the big difference. But in those countries who are candidates or already potential candidates, one can see that the rail tracks are really on the status like we had it 30 years, 40 years ago. For example, Serbia, only 17% of the total rail track network, 3,800 kilometers, are with electricity, electrified. So you can imagine that this is something what they have to first do that step, and then thinking about double rail track, higher speed, more loads on it, will requires complete different embedment and so on. Therefore, this takes more time. Please have a look. Just have a look to Austria. Your Austrian audience people are here. What has been done first? It was as well as in other countries. It was first motorways from Vienna to Bregenz. What is now built is really the second stage. Is the line, the 4 rail track line in between Vienna and Salzburg, in order to have a time at a maximum of 2 hours and 50 minutes. So this is already 10, 15 years later on. And therefore, the same will happen in those prospering, developing countries. That's the name of the game, I have to say. Maybe the truck industry is also, Brussels is also behind. Maybe this, I cannot tell, but there are some other.
Well, perhaps I may add 2 things. For example, the World Bank doesn't finance any rail tracks anymore, because they always say that the railway personnel is too eager to go on strike and too eager to go on early retirement, which you cannot say the same thing of the truck drivers. So this is the reason. The second thing is, for example, if you look to Austria, if you are in Salzburg, you know that the rail is very slow reaching Salzburg, and all temptations to make it faster has been prevented by political pressures here in Salzburg. It is one of, I think, a good example. And now we are building a new railway along the Danube, and it is not a high-speed railway, it is a Hochleistungsstrecke. The difference is the train will not be able to run more than 200 kilometers. 240. In France, you have 480, and we are just building a new railway. And the Brenner-Basis tunnel is still on the drawing board. So this is the big problem with the railway business. I'm sorry to be very frank here, since everybody speaks very open. Basically, you should not have anybody flying a plane from Vienna to Salzburg or even to Innsbruck. You should do it all by train, for example, between Brussels and Paris. You don't have airline connections anymore. Everybody uses the TGV from Brussels straight to the airport in Paris. But this is another case, not the same thing here in Austria. So, other questions? Yes, please.
My name is Justus Kamera. I'm from Zurich, Munich. I have a question to Savanka. You mentioned earlier that the high profitable projects usually are taken by local companies, not by international contractors, and that you actually get the ones that are not clearly how risky they are, how much profit is it. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, that is true. But the funny thing is that I was referring to things where it is not evident whether they are profitable or not. At the end of the day, the international players and the international banks involved in that deal price the risk correctly. So at the end of the day, for the international player, these are lucrative deals. But they are not the deals which are evident for everybody. The very easy deals between Brussels and Paris. Therefore, you don't need international players you find in the local business community, businessmen who want to finance this. But from Zagreb to Graz, there it's not evident, and there are players like us get it, and we price the risk correctly, make money.
Thank you. Other questions? Since I see no other questions, I would suggest that we make a break and have a good coffee. And I would like to thank all the panelists, because you made a very frank presentation about how the problems are and where you have to work and what the dangers are in all the PPP projects. And you gave us also the courage. If you know a lot about it, you can do it. Thank you very much.